The doctor is in and broke. A humorous intro to medical practice startups. Welcome to the roller coaster ride of starting your own medical practice. So, you've decided to ditch the hospital cafeteria's questionable tuna salad and open your own medical practice? Bold move, my friend. Congratulations. You're about to embark on a journey filled with excitement, exhaustion, and the occasional existential crisis. It's like climbing Mount Everest, but with more paperwork and less oxygen. Think of it as medical residency, but with more paperwork and significantly less free pizza. And let's not forget the endless coffee runs to keep you going. Don't worry, it's not all bad. You'll finally be able to decorate your office without getting passive-aggressive notes from the hospital administrator. Imagine the freedom to choose your own motivational posters. Starting a medical practice is like baking a very complex cake. You need the right ingredients, funding, a good location, and staff, the right recipe, a solid business plan, and a whole lot of patience, because things will inevitably go wrong. And trust me, they will. There will be moments where you question your sanity, like when you're trying to decipher insurance codes at 3 a.m. But trust me, the rewards are worth the struggle. The satisfaction of helping patients on your own terms is unparalleled. Just imagine having your name on the door, Dr. You. It has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? It's a small but significant milestone in your journey. This guide will walk you through the major steps involved, from securing funding to cutting the ribbon on your brand new practice. It's a roadmap to your dream. We'll cover everything from the mind-numbing regulations to the surprisingly cutthroat world of patient acquisition. Yes, even doctors need to market themselves these days. Remember those adorable children you dreamed of treating? Well, their parents are now your marketing targets. It's a whole new world of patient engagement. So, grab your stethoscope, a strong cup of coffee, and your sense of humor. You're going to need all three. We're about to dive headfirst into the wonderful, wacky world of medical practice startups. It's a wild ride, but one that's incredibly rewarding. And who knows, you might even learn a thing or two along the way. Continuous learning is part of the journey. Just try not to lose your mind or your malpractice insurance in the process. Stay focused, stay determined, and most importantly, stay sane. Show me the money. You'll need lots of it. Initial costs and funding. Starting a medical practice isn't cheap. It's more like buying a small island, except instead of pristine beaches and fruity cocktails, you get examination tables and stacks of medical journals. Prepare yourself for some sticker shock. The initial costs can range from a few $100,000 to, well, let's just say enough to make you rethink your career choice. But don't despair. There are ways to finance your dream without selling a kidney, though that might be an option if you're a nephrologist.
First, you'll need to figure out how much money you need. This involves creating a detailed budget that includes everything from rent and equipment to malpractice insurance and staff salaries. Think of it as planning a wedding, but instead of a floral budget, you have a medical waste disposal budget. Glamorous, right? Don't forget to factor in unexpected expenses like the occasional burst pipe or the sudden urge to buy a ridiculously expensive anatomical model. Once you know how much money you need, you can start exploring funding options. Traditional bank loans are a possibility, but be prepared to jump through some hoops. You might also consider seeking investors or exploring government grants. Just remember, borrowing money is like dating. You want to find the right partner who offers the best terms and won't leave you heartbroken and broke.
So, how do you avoid ending up in medical practice debtor's prison? Careful planning and realistic budgeting are key. Think of it as a diet. You need to cut the unnecessary fat, like that fancy espresso machine, and focus on the essentials, like, medical equipment. And remember, every penny saved is a penny you can spend on those ridiculously overpriced anatomical models later. So, start saving now. And maybe one day you'll have that dream office with all the bells and whistles. In the end, it's all about balancing your dreams with financial reality. With the right planning and a bit of financial savvy, you can turn your vision into a thriving practice. So, take a deep breath, roll up your sleeves, and get ready to embark on this exciting journey. Your future patients are counting on you, your future. Red Tape Tango. Navigating the regulatory maze. Are regulations the bane of every entrepreneur's existence? They can be particularly daunting in the medical field, where the stakes are incredibly high. Starting a medical practice involves navigating a complex web of rules and regulations, from HIPAA to OSHA to CLIA. Each of these regulations has its own set of requirements and compliance measures. It's enough to make your head spin faster than a centrifuge. The sheer volume of paperwork and the complexity of the rules can be overwhelming. Imagine trying to solve a Rubik's Cube while blindfolded and riding a unicycle. That's pretty much what it feels like when you're trying to keep up with all the regulations. That's pretty much what it feels like. But, with the right approach and resources, it can be managed effectively. But, fear not, dear reader, it's not as impossible as it seems. With careful planning and attention to detail, you can navigate this maze successfully.
First, you'll need to obtain all the necessary licenses and permits. This is the foundational step in setting up your practice. This includes a medical license, a business license, and possibly other permits, depending on your specialty and location. Each of these licenses has its own application process and requirements. It's like getting a driver's license, but with more paperwork and significantly less chance of getting a cool photo on your ID. The process can be tedious, but it's a necessary step. Don't forget about malpractice insurance, which is essential to protect yourself from lawsuits. This insurance is a critical safeguard for your practice. Think of it as a very expensive safety net. It's an investment in your peace of mind and professional security. Next, you'll need to ensure your practice complies with HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. This is crucial for protecting patient information. This means protecting your patient's privacy like it's the winning lottery ticket. Secure storage and careful handling of patient records are essential. No sharing medical information with anyone, unless you want to face hefty fines and the wrath of HIPAA auditors. These auditors are thorough and take privacy breaches very seriously. Imagine them as the privacy police, but with less stylish uniforms. Their job is to ensure that your practice adheres to all privacy regulations. Finally, you'll need to comply with OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, to ensure a safe working environment for your staff. This includes a range of safety protocols. This means having a first aid kit, fire extinguishers, and a plan for dealing with hazardous materials. Safety measures are not just about compliance, they are about protecting your team. Just in case someone accidentally spills a vial of something that glows in the dark. Being prepared for all scenarios is key.
Stay on top of these regulations and keep yourself updated with any changes in the laws, and you'll be well on your way to a compliant and thriving practice. A well-regulated practice not only avoids legal issues, but also builds trust with patients. And who knows, you might even start to enjoy the thrill of filling out forms in triplicate. After all, every form you complete brings you one step closer to a successful practice. Cha-Ching. Decoding payment models in healthcare. Navigating the world of healthcare payment models can feel like trying to understand the plot of a Christopher Nolan movie. It's complex, confusing, and sometimes makes you question the very nature of reality. But don't worry, You don't need a PhD in economics to figure it out. This section will break down the basics of payment models, from fee-for-service to value-based care, in a way that even a medical student can understand, maybe.
Traditionally, healthcare has operated on a fee-for-service model, where doctors are paid for each service they provide. Think of it as an all-you-can-eat buffet for healthcare providers. The more services they provide, the more they get paid. However, this model has been criticized for incentivizing unnecessary tests and procedures. So enter value-based care, which focuses on paying for quality of care rather than quantity. Value-based care models reward providers for keeping patients healthy and out of the hospital. It's like getting a bonus for preventing your patients from needing your services. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But it makes sense when you consider that preventing illness is cheaper than treating it. These models often involve shared savings programs where providers share in the cost savings if they meet certain quality metrics.
So, which payment model is right for your practice? That depends on your specialty, your patient population, and your willingness to embrace change. Fee-for-service is the familiar, comfortable option, but value-based care is the future of healthcare. It might be time to ditch the buffet and opt for a healthier, more sustainable approach. Think of it as swapping your greasy takeout for a nutritious home-cooked meal.